I'm always ready, baby.
All right, we're live.
What's cracking?
That's great. Hey, WindMill. This is the episode 5, I think, which is crazy.
Crazy.
I'm really grinding it, but whatever. This is Nick Von Dub.
Hello.
You want to say something about yourself?
Oh, I'm the best.
I'm the best.
I'm the best. I'm awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty sick. No, I don't know. I guess if people don't know me, I don't know. I've been podcasting for like 4 and a bit years, and I started stand up about 2 years into it, and I've been doing that pretty hot and heavy.
Oh, you were podcasting first?
Oh yeah.
Oh, what were you doing podcasting?
I was running a really large company up in Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
And I'd moved away from everybody I knew, so I was up there, and it was a very intensive job. So I kind of had no friends, and all I would do is like work, make sure putting out fires, and then I would just listen to podcasts. That's all I would do. I would get up, go to work, go to the gym, come home, and any like free time in that, I was just listening to podcasts. I was obsessed with podcasts. So many I've listened to, a ridiculous. I'm fairly certain I've listened to the most podcasts of anybody on earth, like at least, very least, top 100. I'm pretty certain in that, and
Do you have the stat anywhere? It was all on Spotify, right?
Nah. The only shit I listened to Spotify was Rogan when he went there. Yeah, I listen to everything else on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, but I hate Apple Podcasts because you only go to 2 times speed, and on Spotify I can go to 2.5. But I had some fundamental issues with how they were as a podcast. But I love Spotify for music, don't get me wrong, but for podcasts, just wasn't for me. So the majority I'd listen to on like Apple Podcasts, so I have no idea what the actual thing, and it's split between YouTube, but it's tens of thousands of hours.
Oh my goodness.
Like I've listened to every Joe Rogan episode, and there's I think there's like 296 days of Joe Rogan, like all back to back, and I've listened to every single one of them, and like every episode he's ever like been a guest on. Not to mention like all of Ari Shaffir's, all of Eric Weinstein's, like Spittin' Chicklets. Like I could name 100 different podcasts that I've listened to like 1,000 hours of. So I was just obsessed, and I would find myself just like fantasizing about starting a podcast. Like every time I'd be running at like the track, I'd just be thinking about like stopping a robbery and getting like some sort of fame, being able to start a podcast. Like it was so dumb. Such man thoughts. And then like it was a very stressful job, and like it was a crazy time, and then COVID hit, and we were like essential services, so we had to keep working. But just everything got way harder to do. A couple other things like within the business, like there's a big corporate takeover we did where we like took over another like giant company, and had to like, I was doing a lot of the work for that, and then we had to do a bunch of restructuring to
the other company.
The other company, like you have to restructure to make sure that company, like you take best practices from both, because you're both fuel companies, right? And you both do things a certain way, but then now you have to bring them under a corporate structure like Suncor and get them up to snuff with like how they do things, but then try and keep the things that are better than how we do it. But then you're kind of withheld. You can't just do its best, because also there's just a corporate structure that says like, I don't care if that's best. You just have to do it this way. And then within our own company, it was a company that had been run for a long time. It started as a much smaller company and just grew and grew and grew, and it became like kind of like not a corporation. It was still like a family business, but it had grown to a size where you just couldn't run it the way it had been run. You had to kind of just so we had to go through and do these huge changes on how we do pretty much everything, and put everything into like templates, so that it's repeatable and you know what you're doing. And like it was just flying up a bunch of like our senior people all getting into a room in Grand Prairie and just going for like 10 hours about like overhauling everything and how we do everything. And it was super stressful, super tough, like mentally on me. And I was at a really dark place. I was super depressed and not doing good at all.
I've seen a lot of guys.
100%.
I'm going to spend the next 16 months.
Podcaster with his phone ringing. Goddamn rule 1, Daniel McHale.
And you know who it is too.
It's your buddy that calls you 17 times a day.
Oh my goodness.
It's your codependent boyfriend.
I'm going to block him.
I think you might have to at this point.
No, for real. I've given him like 3 warnings at this point.
I've given him 3 warnings. I'm going into a podcast. Don't call me. Can't resist.
No, he just also, I didn't tell him. He just knows when to call me at the worst time.
Yeah, it seems like it.
We spent so much time together that he just has like a sixth
sense. He's like, this would really annoy him if I called right now.
At this exact moment.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, so I was just like a super dark point. I had a girlfriend who was living with me at the time. We did like long distance for a long time. She was finishing her master's degree in Winnipeg, so we did long distance, and she'd come live with me in Grand Prairie in the summers, and then when she was in school, we'd just fly. Like one of us would fly once a month and go see each other. But I was not doing good, and I was just reaching a point where I was kind of like broken, and I just went back to Slave Lake, which is where I grew up, and I saw my parents, and I finally just kind of broke down and told them I wasn't okay and I wasn't doing good and I needed help. And it was nice just to kind of get it off your chest. You just, especially when you're doing a job like that, because I went into it, I was 23 when I started, and you have all these employees and they're all way older than you. You have to put on a brave face. You can never show that you're not doing good.
Especially in like trades.
Especially in the oil field, especially in Grand Prairie in the oil field, right? Like it's
hell.
Yeah, and I loved it too because I grew up like in the oil field. It wasn't like it was something new to me. It was just I'd never been in that role, dealing with all like the mental stuff that comes with it, right? And I finally just broke down and told them, and that was nice, and they were very supportive and just said whatever you need, and pretty much all I needed was just a little shoulder to cry, and everybody needs that every once in a while, Daniel. And then weirdly enough, I
wait, what? Everyone needs that every once in a while, Daniel.
Yeah.
You want me to cry on your shoulder?
I'm just saying, if you need it, I'm here. I got a good shoulder. These are broad.
Don't test me, Nick. People know this about me. I'm always on the verge of crying.
Hey,
it's who I am.
Me too, brother. But like weirdly enough, with all the podcasts I listen to, I found like something that would happen to me a lot was I would hear things like multiple times, like, oh, that sounds interesting, and then like another podcast would talk about like the same book or the same movie like over enough times, it would almost like hit like a threshold where it's like, oh, I got to check this out. Enough people that I'm impressed by and think like have their shit going on or are doing this thing. And one thing I'd heard was this transcendental meditation. And me and you have talked about meditation a little bit before, but that was my first. I'd never messed around, and just kind of like I went up maybe on a Friday and I was feeling a little bit better, but I was still pretty low. And it was Sunday before I went home. I just decided to try it, and I went into my room and just like got quiet with myself for 20-30 minutes and was saying this mantra that I'd come up with, and it brought up a bunch of things. And one of the biggest things that kind of came up in it was like, you're an idiot. You've wanted to podcast for years now. You're obsessed with this. There's nothing holding you back. You don't have to stop a robber. You can do this right now. Yeah. Like, the only thing holding yourself back is yourself. You know you can do this. And I just like sat there, didn't even get up from meditation. I went on Amazon. I ordered like a desk, Zoom recorder, mics, all the stuff. Didn't tell anybody, and just waited for it to come in. I think I told my sister and I told my girlfriend that I was doing it. Just started recording episodes, and then once I had, I think, 5 banked, I released it. I think I released the first 3 episodes, and then went for, I think, 2.5-3 years without ever missing a week, just consistently. Yeah. Athletes, doctors, comedians, anything. Anything I could get. Dog trainers, ultra marathoners. That's crazy. It was awesome. And like
for 2.5 years.
Yeah, and then when comedy started, I lost my streak, and now I've been pretty inconsistent. But I'm trying to get back at it. Watching you young comics start podcasts and stuff is starting to get me back in the bug of like, man, I love it so much. I need to do it. It's just comedy is something that will take over your life, as you've probably started to see.
What are you talking about? I have no idea. I don't see you more than my own family, Nick. That'd be weird.
I know, man.
That happened.
Yeah. I see comics way more than my family. Yep. Yeah.
I live with my family.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah. Nice. So I was, and that was, so like I podcasted for a while, and then it was tough because like the way I wanted to podcast, the way I like to podcast is like when I'm on a podcast, I try to be 100% open and honest and authentic, even if it's vulnerable, even if it's hard to pull out. Like that was, and that was my goal from right when I started, because that was what I'd learned from these hundreds of thousands of hours, maybe hundreds of thousands is a little aggressive, but a lot of hours of podcasts I listened to, like always my favorite people, like that was the through line, or the people that could like give you that insight into their life of exactly what they're going through. And that's like a hard thing to do, and I saw it takes a long time. Like that's a skill, just like stand-up's a skill. Podcasting, and being that vulnerable on a podcast is something that grows with time. So I just went at it, but then I'm also running this huge company, and there's crazy shit all happening all the time, and you can't talk about it because that's not how business works. You can't really. But it was tough, and then went through a very tough breakup and podcasted through that whole thing and let people in. And now like I exist where it's kind of a weird thing where I'm not doing it all the time and I'm not getting like all the benefits of being regular with a podcast and having that outlet to always like put your stuff out.
Yapping practice.
Yeah, yapping practice, but also like I still have all the negatives of like, oh, if someone wanted to, they could go know like so deeply who I am and like what I've been through that it's like this weird vulnerability state that I'm now struggling through trying to get back into it. Because now I've like, when you get into it, you think like, oh, it'll be fine. Like, but you've never felt the downsides of it. And then you do a podcast for a while, you hurt some people with the words you say. You realize how widespread your actions can be when you speak openly and vulnerably about like your experience with the world. You obviously come across other people, and that can be tough. Judgmental people too, but just like not even judgmental, but like I always had this rule of like I'm gonna be willing to talk about anything because I know deep down I have a good heart and that it's coming from a good place. It's coming from a place of love, and like I can speak on my experiences with other people as long as that's where I'm coming from, and I know I have love in my heart, and that these are just me speaking honestly about what I've seen and what I know. But other people don't feel that way. I think people get defensive when they hear themselves talked about. It doesn't matter that it's coming from a place of love. It's just, oh, you said this thing about me. Why did you say this thing about me? Right? And that was tough too. But now I barely podcast, and I'm just trying to get back into it. So it's always fun to be a guest.
Nice.
It's nice to come in here.
You can do whatever you want.
Whatever I want?
Okay.
Oh.
All right. I have a thing with touching. I don't like to be touched much.
Yeah. I give you a little smack on the chest when I was meeting your family there, and I could see you pull back a bit.
Yeah, no, it's with literally everybody.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine.
I know.
But also now that I know that, I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'm going to touch you way more now. Just to fuck with you. All right. This story always comes. All right. Okay. Touching my thigh. All right. Oops.
It's all right. My boyfriend loves it.
He loves it.
Too. You know. It gets weird sometimes because when people find out you don't like to be touched.
Yeah.
Do it more. And you know what's crazy?
What?
I told a friend of mine because like. Okay, I'm gonna call him a friend of mine after because of what I'm gonna say.
An acquaintance.
But all right, Arab guys get pretty lovey-dovey sometimes. All right.
What was that?
Arab guys get pretty lovey.
Oh, Arab guys. I thought you said air guys. I thought that was a name.
Arab guys.
I was like, oh, your buddy Air guys gets to touch you. Okay, Arab guys. No. Gotcha. Feel you. Yeah.
And like one of them kissed me on the neck during a hug.
Ooh.
And I ran, and on top of that, I have an extremely sensitive neck. It's like a weird thing to bring up. I know it's a hard topic to address.
Yeah, you shouldn't tell people that. No, Keep that to yourself. I know we just talk about be open and vulnerable about anything, but don't ever tell anyone that. Ever. It's so I have a very sensitive neck. Okay, anyway, you have a sensitive neck. Your Arab buddy's kissing you on it. Yeah. Take it away.
All right. And I go, hey man, I have a really sensitive neck.
Yeah.
You may as well be fingering me. You know, it's the way it's too sensitive. It's so weird. I'm feeling assaulted.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, he would be like, all right, no, I won't do it next time.
And did he do it next time?
And my dumb ass hugged him 3 more times the next week.
Man,
which is like, that's gay. You're gay.
Okay, here's my take on this. Is like, I get you have a sensitive neck. But also, even if you didn't, still weird that your buddies are kissing you on the neck when they're hugging you. Even if you had the least sensitive neck of all time. Even if you were dead from fucking chin to tits.
Chin to tits.
Right? If there was no feeling, still weird.
Neck kissing between me and my boys. That was a rule I had to set.
Yeah, we have different boys. I don't think any of my boys have tried to kiss me on the neck.
Can I have them? I'm on the market for friends that aren't kissing my neck.
There you go. Yeah.
The sky for me right
Damn.
Now.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I'm so glad you shared that, Daniel.
You said vulnerability.
Just tell me about your fucking sensitive neck.
Bro,
oh my god.
And it's so weird to be like, it's not enough to be sexual assault, but it's definitely way more than is okay.
100%.
Like it's
that's the thing. You set your own boundaries. If it's not okay with you, then it's not okay.
I had to.
But that crosses so many lines of like, that's going to be not okay with most people.
That's going to be not okay with anyone.
That's not a you thing.
No, but like them together. They're just kissing.
Yeah, and I love how you set it up of like emphasizing the sensitive neck to like make sure I got the full breadth of it not being okay, because I was so not okay with it before the sensitive neck came into the equation. I was already pretty weirded out by it.
It really pushes it to the depth of like how bad it is.
Yeah. Is that the most sexually assaulted you've ever felt?
No. I venture to say when I was sexually assaulted, I was pretty sexually assaulted.
Damn, I'm sorry to hear that, brother. I'm sorry to hear that.
In the past.
I'm pretty grateful. I feel like like when I look back on the times where I felt like uncomfortable in that way, or like things that crossed my line of like, yeah, they really sucked, and it's always a shitty thing when someone does that to you, right? But like when I look back on them, I'm like, oh, could have been much worse. Like
it could have been so much worse.
Yeah, like I've had a few guys like kiss me when I didn't want them to, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And I'm like, what? Like, we're friends. Why are you doing this to me? Right? And
a guy by accident?
Have I kissed a guy by accident? No, I've never. I've only been the kissee. I've never been the kisser. Yeah, but it's happened twice, I think.
Yeah. Oh, same, by accident twice.
By accident twice. Yeah. You're really throwing that accident in there heavy here.
So I was this joke in high school I used to have. Where I would get like close to a guy's cheek and it'd be funny, haha, gay chicken or whatever.
Okay.
But then like one time he didn't know I was there.
Oh.
And like turned his face.
Oh, accidental kiss.
Yeah, and then I was like, that was freak accident. Can't have it again.
You have a pretty big smile when you're talking about it, Daniel. I'm starting to wonder.
What, the guys aren't kissing you often?
Nah, it's happened twice, and both times I was not really okay with it. And
no, I wasn't okay with it when it happened.
Yeah.
I can't blame
but that's a different thing. That was an actual accidental kiss. Yeah. These were not accidental kisses. They meant to kiss me.
Rape.
Yeah. And the thing is, I forgot the second one. I can't remember. I know it's happened twice, but I forgot what the second time was, because it happened to me in university. And now I can't remember. And it's been more recent than that. It happened again, because I remember being like, this has happened to me before. This happened to me in university. Fuck, who kissed me? I don't know. Must not have been a very good kiss.
Yeah.
Maybe I blocked it out. Oh,
kiss me better.
I feel like I should. I feel like I gave you shit for having friends that are kissing your neck and they need friends, but also like I do have one group of friends that they like to just make out because it's I'm too close.
Yeah. Too close.
Oh goddamn.
Yeah.
I've never had that issue on a podcast where I'm too close to the mic.
Boy have I. Boy have I.
I have my one group of friends from university. They all find it like very funny to make guys uncomfortable like with gay stuff. So they'll like make out at like clubs and stuff, and like they'll kiss each other, and like I totally get what they're doing, and I get that that's fine.
No, you don't.
But man, I can't get on board with it. I'm not there. Like they all grew up in like Calgary and stuff. They're more like they're more worldly people than me.
Over there,
yeah, maybe you could say that. Then Slave Lake, probably, right? Yeah, there was not a lot of guys kissing for jokes in Slave Lake where I grew up.
If anyone ever kisses a guy by a joke, brother, you wanted it.
And that's the thing. Like I don't know. I've never actually like had a deep conversation about it, because if anyone ever brings it up, they just attack them, be like, "Oh, you're homophobic," like, and they'll just ramp it up. So you can never like get to the root of what their true feelings are on it. I've just come to accept it. They're my friends. I love them, and they like to make out sometimes. maybe I do got to try and take that to the stage.
That'd be a hard one. The Slave Lake kissers.
Yeah. Oh, they're not from Slave Lake. Those are all my university buddies. Don't put that on them, Ricky Bobby. Come on.
No, I love making homophobic guys uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it's the best thing. But it's so much better with your words.
For sure, so much better with words. Yeah, I'm with you there.
There was a guy so homophobic, I was like. I hugged my friend. He was like, "Whoa." Yeah. So
we know those guys.
Yeah. And at some point, I was like, "Bro, I've seen you shake hands with closet gay men today. I've seen you do that."
And how did that make him feel?
So he was like, "No, I can't." He's like, "What?" And then for the rest of the day, I was like, "Bro, shake my hand. Come shake my hand, brother.
Shake my hand."
That's so much better than just kissing your boy.
Yeah, that is the extreme. That is like the most extreme of that certain bit.
Well, there is.
That is the most I've seen. Oh, I'm sure there is more. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, for me my personal experience, for me,
yeah,
that's the farthest I've seen.
No.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, I was at a wedding with them all recently.
With them all. You said you were at a wedding with them all.
With them all.
Oh,
like a good group of like those guys that do that thing. They were all at a wedding together, and there were some kisses.
I think it's okay to kiss your friend twice in life. I think if like the day my buddy proposes, I might give him a smooch.
That might be one of the more interesting things you ever said to me, Daniel.
Isn't a joke.
Yeah, I know. I could feel the
That's
seriousness.
Kiss, yeah.
I can feel the seriousness in you. Yeah, like I'm a big hugger. Like I'll hug my boys all the time. I mean, you've probably seen this, right?
Yeah,
I've gotten the vibes from you don't like to be touched. So like
yeah.
I'm not gonna force hugs on people.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally I'm a big hugger.
That's very understanding of you. A lot of people take it personally.
That you don't like to be touched. Yeah. No, I get that too, because like I am a very touchy person, but I have a lot of barriers. I have a lot of things I don't like. So whenever people do, it's like, oh, I get it. Yeah. Like that might not be one of my things, but like I'm just as weird as that, just in other ways. So I'm pretty accepting of what people are.
You know what's weird?
What?
With my girl, opposite situation.
You want her to touch you?
I want to be touched.
I mean, that does make a lot of sense, Daniel. I don't think that's as crazy as you think it is.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's completely normal.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
I think you're just a dude.
Normal. It's just when every time I'm about to get into a relationship, I'm usually like, don't leave me alone.
Yeah, it's interesting watching someone that I know, like after all the experiences I've had in life, I'm like having like long distance relationships, to then watch someone go through it and try to manage and know like there's some great parts of it, and then there's also some really tough parts. It's interesting. I'm always curious about how you're doing.
Oh, brother, considering that we're like Edmonton, Calgary, everything is perfect.
Everything's perfect. Yeah. We were Grand Prairie, Winnipeg when I did it, and that was a little.
Oh my god.
A little bit more spicy, if you will.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of good things about the long distance part.
For sure.
Like, I'm not expected to do as much. I'm gonna be dead honest with you.
How old are you again, Daniel?
22.
22. Yeah, that's a 22-year-old response.
No, but I'm out almost every night.
I know you're grinding, baby.
Comedy, I'm doing school. I'm working. Like
you got love for the game.
Yeah, I got love for multiple games. Right, so it's almost nice. I like if I could choose, obviously.
League of Legends.
No,
that's the game.
Over my fucking mind. Over my brother. I'm out. I play TFT sometimes.
Oh, TFT's so good, dude.
TFT's fun.
I got a little addicted to TFT a few months ago and started playing ranked, and I was like, what's after gold? Platinum. I was definitely platinum. What's after platinum? Diamond. I don't think I got to. I think I might have got like close to diamond. I was TFTing hard, baby.
Brother,
and that's some nerdy shit.
You don't understand. When I got into TFT, I had a buddy named Caleb. And we were so into TFT, we didn't talk to each other. We would play the game separately the whole day and then report back over text.
I'd be the like, comps you ran. Yeah. Okay. When you were deepest into TFT, so I'm gonna nobody's gonna know what TFT is. It's this game. It's like the kind of game it is called like an auto chess game, and it's like using all the League of Legends IP. So it's like all the characters from League of Legends, but in this like kind of chess game where you like put characters together, build like team comps and stuff, and you have a certain amount of, it's like all about like econing and making money. But
you can just say nerd chess for pussies.
It's nerd chess for pussies for sure.
It's so much easier to say nerd chess for pussies.
I think TFT should actually put that as their tagline. Nerd chess for pussies.
I'd go back.
Yeah, that would bring you back. Yeah.
Finally, they said it.
Okay, I'm so curious which set you were like the deepest into, because I've played like maybe like there's been I don't know maybe like 10 sets so far, and I've maybe played like 3 of them. But I've watched
the first one.
The first one
was crazy. I only did Assassins.
Okay, yeah, you're a big Assassins guy.
Yeah.
I think season 1 that's when I first got addicted to it, and I was playing ranked and stuff, and I think I hit plat in that first season. But I was like I was also like running this huge company. I knew I had a problem when I was like dealing, like we just had like a huge meeting with like all these like head guys and stuff, and they leave it, and I'm printing out like the item combos to try and memorize them, like what goes together. I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is not good.
I would be playing it on my computer, have the comps and shit on my other monitor, and then pull my laptop out for whatever the fuck else I needed.
Been there. I had the same thing. 2 monitors and a laptop. Yeah.
It's fucking.
Oh, and I'd be so obsessed with like if I played for like a night, and I would play till like 5 a.m.
Easy.
Like easy. And then I would go on to like, I can't even remember what it's called, but it like tracks your progress of like your rank progress, and like look at the graph and like see how I did in the night. Oh, aggressive.
It was bad. What did you run set 1?
What I'd run? I'm trying to even remember what set 1 was, brother. I'd have to go back and look at it, and then we could have like a real in-depth conversation on it, because like
we could just play it.
We could. we could.
Just play it.
Yeah, I tried to play the new set, and I fucking lost so bad.
The last one.
You played the last one?
Yeah.
Like the one that's currently out now, or the one before it?
The one before it, because there's one that just dropped.
What was the one before it? Because I think that might have been the one I got really addicted to.
There was like Dragon Lord's porcelain.
Okay, yeah, no, I missed it. I got deep in the one before that. I couldn't quite. I played some of that set, but I couldn't get super deep into it. I have to do good to get into things.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's the opposite of me.
Oh yeah, you like to grind and suck? I hate it.
Nothing I do, I've started out doing it well.
Yeah, I'm the opposite of like, I'm usually generally pretty good at most things I try.
Oh, all right.
But
fuck you then.
But if I'm not, I will give up. Oh, I will not like. I don't like to suck at things. I don't like to grind. I will fucking give up. But like, luckily, I can be like baseline good enough, and then I'll get obsessed with things and I'll get good at them. Right? Like I have
you get actually good.
Yeah. Which with TFT, like I watch a lot of TFT. I watch way too much TFT.
Bro, you're watching a lot of things.
Yes.
You're watching. I don't know. You're watching at like 14 times speed. I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Little 2.5 speed fucking TFT games, little box, little fucking bunny foo TFT. I watch so much.
I only watch like This Guy's Toast.
This Guy's Toast. I watched This Guy's Toast for a while. Skara. Yeah.
The Skara and This Guy's Toast are like, you realize they're just like boring guys.
Yeah. That's why I like Bunny Fufu. He's the best to watch, because he doesn't give a fuck about, like, he's also very good at the game, but he's not like caring about his LP and shit. He's just like, what is the best like crazy comp I can make and just have fun with it. Those are my favorite ones. He's the best to watch for my personal viewings.
Can you believe women talk to us?
I cannot believe it, and
every day,
dude.
Every day I wonder.
It blows my mind.
Yeah.
You've seen me act around women sometimes now. Fucking, I can't even believe they're talking to me most of the time.
Nick, and I'm gonna need you to take this.
All right, I'm mentally preparing. I can handle whatever you're gonna say
as nicely as possible, because I'm not gonna say it as nicely.
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
Watching you talk to women has made me lose a little respect.
For me? Yeah. Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
No.
All right.
Okay, explain yourself.
Talk about this?
Of course. I don't give a fuck.
A girl comes to his multiple shows, goes to shows with him. All right. Talks to him at every show, and he goes, I don't know if she likes me. She dressed up to go to a comedy show alone. Right,
but she said, "Oh, I didn't even know you were on it. I didn't even know you were here." She's giving me, which like I don't know if that's true.
Speak.
It could be, but here's the thing:
that's what they are, liars.
Let me explain this to you, Daniel. I grew up being like super insecure, like physically, because like I had German grandparents who were like always gonna like call you fat and like they'd be super wrong. So I was like always super insecure about my weight and like my looks and stuff, and I could talk to girls because I was good at like talking to girls and like being, because I'm an emotional guy. I'm good at connecting with people, but I would never believe that anyone was actually like attracted to me. So now, still to this day, if like a pretty girl talks to me, I am 100% certain I will find any way to like make myself believe they're not into me. Right? So like, especially like that girl that came to those shows, she's very good looking, and it's like, I am just going to assume, and it's like, oh, I don't ever want to be a creep, because I know I'm like a super sexual person. Like I'm very upfront and open about that, and I never ever like want to be a creep to anybody. So it's like, I am just going to, until I am certain that you are into me and that I can just be my true self and like be the freak I am, I am going to keep it under wraps and just like hold that part of me like away from you and just
saying whip your balls out, bro.
Well, I'm not saying whip my balls out either, but like, yeah, you saw me in an insecure moment with some with not a lot of confidence. That and that's what everyone was saying. They're like, oh yeah,
respect for you.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
No, it's just all right. Coming from me,
yeah.
I was growing up. I was so fat, and then
really,
and then so skinny.
Oh wow, interesting.
So I have all of it.
Okay,
right? But then
you got both sides,
and then I realized I'm hot, buddy.
now you're just throwing your back out doing deadlifts at 22.
Yeah, all right. Don't bring that up.
No?
You know what's crazy?
That's off limits?
No, it's not off limits. But
your fucking busted ass tailbone?
Like a part of me doesn't.
Pussy ass tailbone?
a part of me doesn't regret doing it. Because like the story is like I did it for 3 reps and that was like the goal rep.
Yeah.
But like I was like I got one more in me. And went for the 4th, and then just my back gave out.
It's the last run of the ski trip.
But then another guy that was like beside me, to my back out, came out and was like, "Bro, I tried to re-rack it, I couldn't even lift it." I was like, "Fucking weird." Just ice in my under my underwear. I was like this. I was like, "Yeah, buddy."
Daniel, you're pretty fucking sick, bro. You're so sick. God. One day I hope to be as sick as you.
All right.
Just blowing my back out.
Okay, back to the girl thing, buddy.
Okay.
Without sounding too homo, you're 6 foot something, long hair, white boy.
5'11".
You're 5'11"?
Honestly, have you not seen me talk about this on stage? I lived my whole life knowing, not just saying, knowing I am 5'11" and like 3/4. I'm just under 6 foot. Right, that was always, and I would always wear like with shoes for sure. I'm 6 foot, cowboy boots easily like 6'1". Right, that's always what I thought. I went and got a physical like last year, and I was getting fucking, it was like a crazy physical where like you do like a bunch of like tests and exercise balance stuff, and at one point they take your weight and your height, and they do like a BMI thing, they do all this crazy shit. Anyway, the nurse is like doing my height, and she like marks it off. She's like, "All right, 5'11". And I hate this about myself. This is like the worst moment ever. This is the simpiest shit ever. I was like 5'11" and a bit. And she was like, "Oh, no. 5'11". And it was like so cutting, and like she knew what she was saying. She knew what like trauma she was giving me. And she just like full sent it, like laughed in my face and was like, "No, 5'11". So I am 5'11". Oh my God. Now I don't even have fucking 6 foot. With cowboy boots, easy 6 foot. Fucking
with shoes.
With shoes, 6 foot too. Right, but
so either way.
Okay. Anyway, sorry to take you off that tangent.
6 foot. You got the Tarzan hair. You have money, and you have a truck, and are 6 foot in Alberta, brother. That's the whole package.
Yeah.
You're missing out. So like with the anger issues, you don't have those, but
Oh, I had them, baby. They're still deep down. The weed helped me.
Oh, I see.
Yes, I used to be a very angry person. I still have a snapshot. It just I still have a crazy temper, but I just like to say my wick has gotten longer. So like I don't go out. It takes a lot more for me to get to that point now, but it's still pretty fucking wild when I do, which I think is funny that like in comedy, very rarely have people seen me angry. Really? And when it happens, the look, like I've snapped on people at a few shows at some point, and like just watching everyone kind of like look around, like, "Oh fuck, like, are we okay?" And I'm just like, "Oh yeah, like it's fine. I'll be chilling like 20 minutes. Just give me a chance. I'm just a little angry." Yeah. Anyways, but you're trying to give me compliments, and I'm just fucking stopping you at every point. Like, I'm not 6 foot. I do have anger issues. Brother, I have no money anymore.
It's just I don't know. I did have, as you know, my little F-boy phase.
My little F-boy phase?
Yep.
Do I know that?
Yeah, I told you.
Okay, I might be forgetting. I also smoke a lot of weed. Yeah. Okay, yes, you did. Yeah, okay, now I'm with you. Little F-boy phase, okay, carry on.
It's so easy.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I had a buzz cut when I was pulling.
Buzz cut when you're pulling. I love listening to you talk about sex stuff. It's one of my greatest joys in life.
You just don't believe it.
I don't believe anything. It always comes across. I'm just like, that didn't happen. You held hands at most.
Brother, you know what's crazy? Around the comedy scene, I am literally the biggest pussy that ever was. Right, which is not like
there's some pretty big pussies in the comedy scene.
Like, not
like
a bitch, but just like
you might crack top 10, but I wouldn't put you at the top.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I didn't make it the number one huge pussy.
Yeah,
whatever. But you know what I mean. Like I give off a heavy innocence vibe.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least now you do. Now that you're fucking
performing well.
I think it's just like becoming more comfortable around and not trying to put it on. I feel like when you first started, you came in with like this big persona that like. you were trying not to be a pussy and you were trying to be this big ladies man and stuff. Like,
I wasn't trying to be a ladies man.
Well, sorry, you were just trying to give off auras of things that like naturally it seemed disingenuous. I feel like when I first met you, I didn't like you all that much.
No one did.
I was like I kind of had a soft spot. Like anybody that starts comedy, I always have a soft spot. Like comedy's hard, and I want everyone to like keep doing it. So I try to like help out. But there's like a couple of the first times I met you, I was like, this kid's so cocky, he has no idea. But I knew, I was like, comedy humbles everyone. Just give him a second. He'll like, I don't need to do anything here. Comedy will let him bomb. Comedy will humble him. And that's the thing. But like, not everybody will be humbled by that. Like we've talked about this, of like some people will
just keep on trucking.
Yeah, and like bombing hurts so much that they will just create some sort of like ego character shield that will prevent them from like learning the lessons and actually adjusting when they feel that pain. So I had to wait for you to, because when you first start comedy, you're so nervous up there. It's such like a cool thing. The crowd's kind of on your side that you get like, you have like this artificial buffer at the start where you get like some, it's not truly what comedy will be. Doesn't mean shit, right? Like, and that was the thing, like watching you go like have some good sets on like a hot crowd on like a Tuesday with like one of your first time and thinking like, and like coming up like, oh, maybe I'll get booked on the asylum and shit. And I'm like,
asked me that day, you're like, not a chance.
Oh, and I hated you. I was like, I was like, you cocky little fuck. I was like, just wait. But I knew.
I had no idea what the asylum was at the time.
True. Yeah, in fairness, and like that's the thing. I never held anything about it because I knew you'd. Things would shake out, but then like over time, you getting more comfortable and becoming more who you are, and like letting us know like kind of more of your background, what you've been through, and like I found you became so much more likable in that, and like you might see that as like being a pussy or whatever. Like that's how you're seen. Like it's not like, not to me at least. Like it's like, oh no, that's. Like I might make the jokes because like you know, it's easy and it's funny. It's kind of hack. Like, oh, if you're gonna like, if that's gonna be the running joke of like calling you a pussy, but like to me, the pussies are the one playing those games where they have all this ego fucking bullshit where they're not even comfortable enough to be who they are. Like someone that can be open and upfront about who they are is way much less of a pussy to me. Like some of the like, I feel like the general consensus of like who's the pussies in the scene would be so different than my personal ones, because like my pussies are the ones like, you're being a fraud. You're not being open about who you are. You're pretending to be something else.
You know, I think what came across as ego cockiness was just my attempt, because I like caricaturized myself on stage. I don't believe I was like, but I definitely was a dickhead.
A little bit,
yeah. Back to what we were saying. I in the comedy scene, I'm slowly being more myself, and again, innocent, good boy, Christian boy.
Innocent Christian boy.
I go to church and they're like, this fucking demon.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I could tell that, and like I could feel that being like tough for you to come in and to be on both sides of like when you're here, right? Like I felt a similar thing too. Like when I'd be in Slave Lake with all like my boys, I was like the pussy that like read Twilight and the Harry Potter. Like I was like, of them, I was kind of like, but then I come here and I'm too oil field. I'm too like when I went to university, I was like too far on that side. I'm like, well, fuck, like I can't win on either side. So I totally get like where you're at of like, when you're at church, you're the bad boy. When you're in comedy, you're the little fucking church boy.
But I can't even believe I'm a bad boy over there.
I know you are. You are. Yeah.
And the thing is, I know everyone's dirt.
Oh,
for real, I know everyone's dirt. Like when I told the homophobic guy, you've shaken closeted hands. I wasn't lying.
I didn't think you were
shaking closeted hands today. And I know everyone's dirt. So when I get like judged for being like open and vulnerable, it feels so weird to me.
Yeah, 100%. But that's
so funny.
That's always what it's going to be. But that's the thing. Like, there's nothing harder in life than being truly open and vulnerable. And there's nothing scarier to other people than seeing someone else be open and vulnerable, because it highlights that fear in themselves. That's always going to be, no matter if you're in comedy, in a church, that is just that is fundamental to human beings, right? So like, it's natural, and it does suck to go through it when you feel it, but like, if you can keep that perspective of like, oh, that's all this is, like, it's really not a big deal. I have a question for you, Daniel.
Oh my God, what is it?
Well, what I already talked about of like something that I really struggled with was like the realities of starting a podcast and being open and vulnerable, and then like what that did with like work and not being able to talk, was that personal relationships and stuff. Like the church is something that is like very meaningful to you. Like we've had conversations. I've heard you talk about it on stage. I know it like as a big role in your life, and now you're coming on doing this podcast, bringing on some fucking weirdos like this. That like, is it ever tough for you to like manage something that you're clearly passionate about and you want to do, but also like how it's going to look to other people you care about?
I grew up. That's a very good question. Oh my god, I grew up.
I've done this a while.
Yep. Okay, I've been a black sheep most of my life. I've always been.
How early do you think you started feeling that way?
Oh, the fucking beginning.
But like, what's the beginning to like 3, 7, 10?
Okay, relax, buddy. I don't know the numbers or the times.
Well, give me ballpark. I'm just curious. I'm trying to paint the picture in my head.
Even in like my earliest memories socially, I've always been just like a little different. Right. Even to now I like it, but like, even to it's glaringly obvious that I don't think exactly the same as a lot of people. So I feel that. So if I'm in a group of people that think very differently from me, I look and feel stupid, obviously, because no one's gonna agree with my thought process or anything. Excuse me. But so what?
I don't know, just the burp and then the gulp after just made me giggle. Sorry, carry on.
But so I guess like a lot of my life has already been training for like not giving a shit. About what people think or say. I've had times in my life where I really tried my hardest to have people like me, and they'll still turn around and not give a fuck about me at all. And
that's like, life, baby.
Yeah, so when I post the worst garbage, like reels ever, I'm like, this is amazing to me. I frankly don't give a shit.
You kind of relish it a little bit.
Lightly.
Yeah.
And I have to balance that because like.
Do you think? Sorry, go on.
I have to balance that because I think I relish in taboo a little too much. I think it's a very comedian thing, but
yeah, and I see it of you. It's just interesting for us too because I feel like everybody's taboo is different, and like what your situation is, and like within your situation, I feel like a lot more things are taboo. Everything. Like compared to like you're dealing with those things like the taboos, and then you see some of us other ones that are doing way wilder shit. like if we were in your church, you would be the fucking whitest sheep of all time.
Brother, the first that I ever heard from Janessa.
Yeah,
I was like, you can never talk to me. Stay the fuck away.
You're gonna corrupt me.
You and this dolphin can go hang out somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh, I love that bit. What was I gonna ask you there?
Taboo,
do you think like that little part of you that like relishes the taboo and relishes kind of being that black sheep a little bit? Do you think any part of that is like unresolved feelings of not being accepted for who you were when you were younger and you were feeling those things at the start? Did you think that's like a way of getting back at it, of like almost like reclaiming it?
Yeah, that seems like a pretty apt description of a lot of those experiences.
Yeah. So do you ever wonder if like part of that too is like work you could do on yourself to like look inside, maybe meditate, maybe pray, and like go back to that to find more acceptance in that? Like I don't think that would change. I think those things get set in you. I think you always will relish it a little bit, but of like you're not going to do it?
I'm just not going to stop.
You're just not going to stop? Hey, fair enough.
Fun. Talking about penises is everyone's favorite activity.
Yeah. It is pretty fun.
Yeah,
it is pretty fun.
I think if there was like a stat on all jokes made in the world,
dick jokes would be for sure. Farts would be up there.
Not even close.
You think dicks are outworking farts?
I think dicks are getting talked about way more than
Here's
farts.
the thing. I think if you took it with just the boys, for sure it's dick jokes, but I feel like farts are more universal, where you're gonna get like even girls are making fart jokes when we're not around.
Yeah.
Right? Like I feel like just like the biomass of the world of who's making fart jokes, I feel like it might edge out dick jokes.
I was thinking like comedically, like on stage.
Oh, on stage? Oh, dick jokes all day. 10%. Dick jokes all day.
I wasn't running like a universal simulation.
Okay, I was running the universal simulation.
Thinking on bigger scales.
Yeah. That's always where I'm thinking, baby.
Oh yeah, and there could be more work, because even nowadays I'm still not gonna I don't ever believe I'm gonna be there's people out there that set an idea of you and it's never gonna change.
Yeah,
that's just how it is. And there's a lot of those in my church.
Oh yeah,
where it's like I don't even give a shit what you think. Oh my god.
Yeah, well that's healthy.
Exactly. But a part of it's like I do struggle, like even amongst close friends. I'm like sometimes I'm aware of the mechanism where I'm like, I don't belong here. Oh no, I do belong here. I'm just having a bad day, and this is a mechanism.
Yeah. Interesting
stuff like that.
Yeah. Has anybody from your church come to see you do stand up yet?
Oh my god, have I not told you this story?
Maybe you have it, I'm just forgetting.
Oh my goodness, no. So I started right before the funniest person with a day job.
Okay.
Thing.
Yeah.
I signed up for it because I thought it was an open mic. And then like a week before, yeah, like a week or two before, I forgot that I signed up for it.
Yeah.
I do the grindstone, whatever, blah blah blah. And I realized I get an email like, "Oh, you're set.
Yeah, this is your week for the competition.
I'm like, "Oh, I'm inviting all of my friends."
Okay.
Yeah, buddy. I invited some of my friends, my sister, her fiance, my ex and her friends.
Was it ex at the time?
Ex at the time.
Okay.
We were like still trying to have like a friendship.
Been there.
Yeah, like we didn't want to break the group apart.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's like we'll just have to see each other.
Oh, don't envy that.
I ate the biggest piece of shit set I ever have in my life, Nick.
Oh, that's awesome.
10-foot meter jump into the shit pool.
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. Who won your night? I'm trying to remember if I was there or not. Who?
Brad.
Was I there that night? I don't know. I don't know if I made all the competition nights. I think there's a few I missed. I don't know if I was there, but
I remember Brad's. I heard Brad's bipolar like eating pussy joke. Still my favorite joke.
Oh man, watching Brad crush all weekend was so much fucking fun. Yeah, I love watching that kid work.
It's fun watching him get off stage from like literally murdering them. It was so funny. After the early show, he did fine. He did really.
Yeah,
good.
he did. He had a really good set.
Yeah, and he got off stage. He was like, "That was trash. Show me your notes." Like he just straight face like intimidated me into it. I didn't think I'd ever be intimidated by. He was like, "Fucking show me your notes."
Brad can be intimidating when he wants to.
He was like, "I'm gonna kill myself."
Oh, I know, and it's usually like one or two little things that he's like, "No," and I'm the same way. Not to like
we're all like that.
Yeah, but it's just. It's wild because he has the highest highs, so like we all do that, but I'm not having like sets like Brad's having and then critiquing it. It's like still at this one, if I was right now to have sets like Brad's having, I'd be over the moon, right? I'd be like, that was fucking nuts. Like, check me out. I'm getting pussy tonight, right? But you know, like I still do the same thing. So hopefully when I'm 7-8 years in, however long I was doing, and I'm having sets like that, I'll still be doing the same thing where you critique it. I just think, that is such a skill that so little comedians have to keep yourself in that mindset, because that's how you will grow, is by like holding yourself to that like radical accountability of like
be overly
critical.
You have to be overly critical.
Yep. But I feel like
no one can understand. Yeah.
But then there's also this thing too of, I find with lots of comics, like I think Brad's one of my favorite examples of it, of just like people can be so hypercritical that they miss the good of like they can do some really special things in a set that they should take stock of, like, oh, that was unreal, like what you did there. Yeah. But they're so concentrated on like, oh, I didn't like this, I didn't like that you need to have that balance. His too. Crowd work was good. Unbelievable. And I really love when Brad crowd works, and it's a tool he uses very sparingly, but when he does it, it's almost like, I'm going to say like 98%, it's going to be one of the funnest shits you've ever seen. Like the way on one of the shows, I can't remember which show it was, but me and Noah Bronson were sitting there eating, and like we were both just fucking giggling so hard at the shit he was saying to the people in the crowd. It was like, nobody else could get away with the shit he's saying, but he's just
teddy bear.
So teddy bear, so like, but it's not, because it's got edge. It's like a teddy bear with spikes. Yeah. Like it's still cute, teddy but like it'll still teddy bear with a gun. Is that what you said? That's perfect. Brad. Yeah, that is teddy bear with a gun. Yeah. Right, like because he's pretty edgy. He can be toxic on stage. Yeah. He can call some people a bitch, but like with how funny he is and how. Like, you always believe that he's just trying to say the funniest thing and like make himself laugh on stage when he's in a good mindset too, of like, and I think that's newer gears that he's finding where he can stay in that, and he's so consistently able to manage that where it gives him that freedom to go to these crazier places. But it's just, I learn a ton from Brad all the time. I watch him every set, and I'm just taking lessons, taking things from it, right? And it's like, oh, he does comedy so different than me, but there's always things you can take away. I've noticed you've been coming to lots of shows, taking notes. Yep. Has that helped you a lot?
I realized yesterday it was a double-edged sword. It's helping me like really break down comedy as a science instead of an art. Yep. But if I do it too much, I don't feel very funny after.
100%. Yeah. You got to find that balance too. You got to do it for the enjoyment.
Notes on every single set.
No. That's nightmare fuel. Yeah. I feel like what's my suggestion to you of like trying to find a balance with it, just go to shows not with the intention of like taking notes, but if you see a set that is either like shockingly good or shockingly bad, jot down a few notes on those, right? Because that's where you learn things, is when someone does really bad or when someone does really good. That's where the most learnings are, right? Or something really unique.
Yeah.
That's what I find.
No, I have a tendency to get very, very hyper-focused on shit that doesn't ever matter. Brad laughed at my notes because one of them was like the lighter sweater today was better than the darker sweater yesterday. And then like I could see in his face like he was like, that didn't fucking matter.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck about that shit.
Yeah. But I don't know. I noticed that like if I wear a lighter shirt, people are going to hate me less.
Interesting. I've never been a real pay attention to clothing guy.
Yeah, no.
Clearly, look at me.
No, but there have been like studies like if you wear certain colors, it's associated with certain things.
For sure. I guess how I look at it too is like for sure those things exist.
But if you're funny. Like
exactly, and to like put yourself where you don't even waste any mental space thinking about that of like what is gonna go better, and like sometimes you will put yourself at a detriment because you're wearing something that's like maybe they don't like, but now you're just gonna get better because now you have to overcome that.
All right. Showing up naked to every set.
Do it. Birthday suit, baby. Get an American flag Speedo.
Yeah,
no, get an Egypt flag Speedo. That'd be the play.
Crucified, brother.
Maybe that. Yeah, that might be a little.
You ever heard of stonings?
Yeah,
it happened all the time out there.
I almost said it was haram, but then I remembered you're Christian as fuck.
We still have haram. Haram isn't the people think of a lot of words as Muslim, but they're just Arabic words.
Oh, that makes sense.
Haram just means like not.
Yes.
This is not good spiritually.
Yeah. You ever hear something where like as soon as you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, that's obvious. I'm a dum-dum.
Yeah.
That was a dumb statement I made.
Yeah.
I do it all the time, baby.
I won't correct a lot of people because
100%.
I'll be like, they'll like.
I like to be corrected though.
No, but here, as an Arab guy, white guys love to be like, astaghfirullah, bro. Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Assalamu alaikum.
And I'll be like, no, bro, I'm Christian. And it's just, they're good. They're like, oh, he's a white man. Oh, hello, brother.
Yeah. Shake your hand.
Yeah. I was going to shoot you later.
Good day.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I don't like it when white guys talk to me.
You don't like when white guys talk to you?
I don't like it when anyone talks to me.
Oh, that's fair.
In general.
Yeah.
You guys get such a warped idea of who I am.
Yeah, I see that.
I want to talk to comedians.
Mm-hmm.
Regular day-to-day basis, phones on, just not getting answered.
Except for your one buddy that calls you 17 times a day.
But the phone's not getting answered.
I see you answer it.
All right, I'm stopping. All right.
You're working on it?
Like, I answer him like once a day now. I weaned them off.
That's more healthy.
Yeah.
That's more healthy.
No, but I'll walk past people. Just walk. I'll be in a conversation and just tap out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That just doesn't happen to you guys.
Oh, I don't like talking to people. I like talking to comedians,
exactly.
But I don't talk to people anywhere in my life except for when I go for comedy and like I'm like forcing myself to go out and do it. And I like to avoid people and only talk to the people I want to talk about. I have a lot of that same things. I grew up somewhere where that wasn't okay. Like I have all the skills to communicate and have conversations. Like I'm good at it, but I don't like to.
Yeah.
I'd rather like unless it's certain people. Like Belrose, like I can talk to him for fucking 6 hours and it's like it's easy, right? Like not a big deal. My best friend Chase, I can talk to him for hours. Trish, we can talk comedy for fucking hours. It's not a big deal, but it falls off quickly after that.
There's a lot of common traits with a lot of us.
For sure.
Yeah.
Comedy takes a very
person.
Yeah.
But
and
who knows if I'm that guy?
Who knows?
We're still finding out.
We're still finding out, but I don't know. You've shown enough promise and effort that it's like, oh, you have a way higher shot of like it's like such a small percentage that anybody will ever stick it out in comedy because it's so painful, it's so shitty, it's so ugly.
So much investment.
It takes emotionally, time wise, like that.
Puts strain on your relationships. Yeah,
like anybody starting comedy, it's like, oh, there's a sub 1% chance that they even stick it out for like a year, right? Yeah. But then there's certain 2 weeks, right? Like, but you see certain markers of like when people start and things you see in them that can like change that. Like you get way better at predicting who has it, right? And like at the very start, it was like I didn't know what you had because like I wasn't really seeing the real you. But then you've been coming out like you will show up. That's the biggest thing. You're out. You're willing to grind. You're out every night. Like that's the most important thing. Other than that, you can take criticism
like
and apply it. Like though, like that puts you like. The fact that you're willing to show up every night puts you ahead of 80% of comedians, right? the fact that you're willing to like take feedback and apply it, it puts you above like 90% of comedians, right? And like I see those two things, it's like it's still a long shot because this is thing really hard to do. Like that maybe only bumps up from like where when you first started, it was like that everybody gets is like a sub 1%. Like with those things, it's like, oh, that bumped up to 3 to 5 to 10%, right?
Way higher than 10.
That's what I'm saying. Of like, I think you don't realize how fucking hard it is yet to say that, but like the fact, like I'm gonna call you a 10, and like we can maybe argue where it is, right. But that like I wouldn't give very many people a 10. Like there's probably like a handful of people that like even that just because, and that's my crazy way of looking at it. Of like, if you really want to do comedy and like the purest sense of like you want to be big, you don't just want to like make money on the road around Alberta and so like, you want to actually like do something with it. Like this percentage chats are so it's like making the NHL. It's like not only it's not an indictment on you. It's just it's an accurate it's an accurate read on how hard the thing we are doing is to do.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've been in a lot of conversations with some of the newer comedians.
Yeah,
and they'll talk about. There's one specifically I'm thinking about.
Okay.
He'll be like, bro, this is my dream. I'm hustling. And I'll be like, bro, I'm out every night. I don't see you.
Yeah.
I didn't see you in a week.
Yeah. I'm so curious who this is. You're going to have to tell me after.
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
Because there's someone.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I don't even have big goals. I just want to get really good at this shit.
That's all you can do.
That's all I have.
Yep.
I don't see myself performing Madison Square Garden or like I'm just going to get crazy good at this.
Just get crazy good at it, man. That's the only way. That's the only way.
No goals.
Because even if you do get crazy fucking good at it, it's still a crapshoot on if you'll ever be able to do any of those things because it requires so much things to go right. Not to mention all that thing, but like when I see people, try and concentrate on the goals more than the skills.
No,
yeah, it's like, why are you losing your mind, becoming a whole different person because you're trying to get your 7-minute fucking set for Winnipeg Comedy Festival recorded? You're so bad.
There's someone you're thinking about.
There's like 15 people I'm thinking about. Of like, I think I'm better than you. And I don't think I'm anywhere where like that's something I should be thinking about. I'm just so focused on getting better because like I need to be better to like do all the things I want to do. Why are you focused on like all these JFL submissions and shit? It's like, man, that is just taking you out because it's like, man, that month of comedy where everyone turned crazy trying to find the perfect sets to get their 7-minute thing recorded. They weren't getting better. They were trying to do this weird thing, and that's a month of time you wasted of like you could have been getting better in that month, but
every second is gold.
Every second is gold. Every show, every set is important, right?
Yeah.
The way I look at it, right? And like that's something I learned right away and tried to tell any new comic that of like sets are so hard to come by and you have to cherish everyone and do whatever you got to do to get on stage, but also you can learn so much by going to shows and paying attention and watching it. Just listening. And I've told that to you a couple times and I see you out there, you take notes, you're doing it's like,
that was because the workshop felt so productive.
It's so productive
every day.
Man, anybody that says they're fucking grinding and they want to get better at comedy and don't
go to the workshop.
Don't go to the workshop. Blows my mind. Blows my mind, dude.
Workshop is Sunday service.
and like you see, I know that, you know that because we've been there a lot and we've seen it every night, no matter who's there. Whether it's like just a handful of brand new people, if it's like Brad and JR and Brandon and Y, like everybody's there. Like it is so useful every time. And then there's people who have never seen it and just in their head are like, oh, that's some dumb thing. And it's like, oh,
no idea.
You are shooting yourself in the foot because you have no idea what happens every Tuesday without fail.
It's also like a pick me up.
For sure.
There's like a part of it that's like, all right, I'm down in the dumps.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on something and get like a compliment or two.
Yeah. And it's the one space in comedy where it's not negative, it's a positive space, right? Where it's like to find a positive space in comedy is almost impossible because it's so dog eat dog, it's so vulnerable that like, and people are just so shitty and looking out for themselves that there's going to be negative energy almost at every show to some degree.
I think it's something you have but have to not show.
Yeah, everybody has it, but you have to actively work to.
I reconciled the jealousy and after.
Oh yeah.
It's so easy to be like, brother, I got it like that. It's coming.
Yeah, no, I did feel quite bad for you last night. I was like, oh man.
I don't know. You compare yourself to people and then you see them, but then this is like I just realized I'm outworking everybody.
Then that's all that matters. You are outworking. Yeah. And
give me 2 months, see where we land, brother.
Yeah, exactly. and I see that, and that's what I was saying. I was like, oh, you're doing the right things. Like you, comedy's so fucked because like you have to. There's a bunch of things you can do that in the long run will pay off, but there's no real consistent factor to when they'll pay off or how they'll pay off, but you're doing the right things. And I see that of like in my best estimation, like you've shown your ability to take feedback so well that I feel like I can openly give you like way more feedback than someone maybe that like another newer comic. Like I'd have to build a way close relationship before I can tell them things. But like there's not much more I would tell you. Like you're doing all the right things. Like you're going out all the time. It seems that way.
You could rip me to shreds.
Yeah.
I'll be like, all right, I'll go home. Sometimes I go home and I'm like, all right, I'm back.
I'm back.
It's so easy to come back. People don't realize how easy it is to take an L. Mm-hmm. That's my life's work.
Just taking L's?
Taking L's is my life's work.
What's the name of this podcast?
The WindMill.
The WindMill.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you said at the start.
Yeah. I mean, it's also not for you today, but maybe. No, not for you today. It's also the Nut Shots podcast. Sometimes.
The Nut Shots?
If you're sitting like this is a dead nut shot.
I thought I was thinking nut shot like no. I was ready to get defensive here. I was like, if you're about to hit me in the sack,
have them. You can have your balls.
Thank you. For them, How kind of you. Thank you for letting me have my balls, Daniel.
You're welcome, brother. Not a lot of people
appreciate it.
Nice like that. A lot of guys try to take your balls.
Again, we have different friends, Daniel. I don't know.
Well, you're getting suck you up,
dude. You're getting kissed on your sensitive neck and shit. I don't know. I don't know how you operate. I don't know how you operate, my dude.
My dear?
My dude.
Oh, I was like, all right.
My dear, sure. We'll go with that.
Now you're right here with him.
Oh my god. Fucking neck kisses.
We're at an hour now.
We're at an hour?
Yeah, we're at an hour. That was
piece of piss. I do 3 hour. I've done so many 3 hour, 4 hour podcasts. Fucking hour's nothing to me.
Yeah, but like the free buzz thing.
Oh, he cuts you an hour?
It's a free 2 hours a month. So like.
Oh, you're on the free Buzzsprout?
Yeah.
Oh, my dude, cute.
Yeah.
Love that. I was on like the most aggressive plan you could get for hours, and then I would always every month I would have to buy more. Like I'd go over every month when I was doing it heavy.
Oh my god.
Not to fucking just big dog you like that. Big dick, yeah. Fucking slam her on the table there.
Sometimes the comedian has to show you that he has huger balls. Like
sometimes you.
I thought you're gonna quit, but I was just so good.
Well, thanks for having me on, bro. That was lots of fun. I love being a guest on podcasts. If you ever fucking want someone to come on, I'm always here. I love it.
But you're welcome to.
Fucking right, bro.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.